Hello, I dislike the word smart because it's too much of a slang term and too subjective. A much better term is intelligent. Yet we must often divide the term intelligence between fluid intelligence, raw ability to absorb information, such as a gifted child prodigy who yet lacks the accumulation of knowledge due to youth, and crystallized intelligence, such as that possessed by elderly persons who accumulated massive amounts of information due to advanced age. Musical genius Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart wrote his first symphony at age 8, yet we mustn't suppose that he had an adult cognition in other aspects of his thinking. And although some older adults did nothing in their lives to increase their intelligence and thus failed to increase their brain power, that's the exception to the rule, as most people gain knowledge and skills through their years of experience. Then we must understand the difference between persons with extraordinarily high learning potential, such as between those with photographic memory, and those with a special gift of discernment to use logic to weed out junk information and gather pertinent information into organized and cohesive facts and plans of action. Then we must often divide quote-unquote smart into intelligence, in the categories I mentioned, and wisdom. Wisdom is the propensity to use one's brain power to make right decisions and avoid foolishness. That is, thought processes and actions based on bias or emotionality. For example, being a doctor requires very high intelligence. Yet several doctors have acted very foolishly by molesting children or their patients, which caused them to lose their careers and freedom. We can then break down wisdom into worldly wisdom and spiritual wisdom. For example, someone may take the wisest courses of action pertaining to this life, but never take into consideration the next life. Quoting Corinthians chapter 1, verses 25 to 27, "The foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble, are called. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise." End quote. Although IQ tests have some flaws, they are the most accurate gauge of raw intelligence ever devised. People have disputed this because they realized that blacks and women consistently score significantly lower on IQ tests than whites, Asians, and men. But not only does the average white or Asian man have significantly more raw intelligence, intelligence is 80% genetically inherited. So to have a very intelligent society, we must harness the science of eugenics, that is, coercing the most intelligent among us to breed and proliferate, and coerce the least intelligent among us to refrain from reproducing. Some who have high raw intelligence are prevented from using it due to a happenstance genetic defect such as autism. That's why we must develop and harness the science of genetic engineering and enforce its practice. This would avoid the sperm or egg cells that carry the mutated gene. And those with high intelligence must certainly cultivate a strong work ethic in order to benefit from their intelligence and contribute their talent to society. The work ethic can be as important as, or more important than, extraordinary intelligence. Now for things that can increase our intelligence within the parameters of our genetic makeup. Reading, especially challenging reading material, board games of pure skill such as chess, Go, or Boggle, or primarily of skill such as Scrabble, Medina, or Stratego. Other things to somewhat increase our intelligence are searching the internet for information, memory games like Simon, which is playable over the internet, debating, taking quizzes, puzzles of every type, such as jigsaws, crosswords, Rubik's Cubes type puzzles, 3D puzzles, bolt key and ring puzzles, a time shot game that I have, it's like perfection, and learning something new. And surprisingly, a brain scientist discovered that playing video games increases several different aspects of brain functioning. Now for things that do not increase intelligence and waste your time. They are watching television excessively, viewing internet porn, hanging around in bars, games that are primarily of chance, such as those involving cards or dice, and excessive sleeping. Things that make you lose intelligence are sniffing paint, paint thinner, toxic glue, toluene, and such like, which cause brain damage. Contact sports where you're hit hard and repeatedly in the head often leads to severe brain damage too. That's even if you're never knocked out and wear headgear, since severe jostling of the brain causes trauma leading to CTE. That's chronic traumatic encephalopathy. One highly disturbing fact is that people with average intelligence wonder why people who clearly have unusually high intelligence have ideas which are much different than them and do things they consider stupid or nonsensical. Yet extraordinarily intelligent people think differently. They should, by definition. It's the average person who often acts stupidly, especially when brainwashed by the corrupt media and educational system. Democracy has always failed. Rule by the intellectually elite would be a vast improvement. Finally, do whatever you can to use your intelligence coupled with the work ethic. And remember that intelligence must be coupled with wisdom. And we must also have spiritual wisdom, which requires faith. Take care.